From the moment Sara entered the world, life seemed to have already made up its mind about her, unwanted. She was born in a tiny village on the edge of the city, to a mother who vanished 2 days after her birth and a father who no one had ever seen. Raised by her elderly grandmother in a crumbling house, Sara learned early that life was a cold wind constantly blowing against her. At school, the other children would whisper behind her back. "That's the girl whose mother left. She doesn't even have proper shoes. She's cursed." But Sara never fought back. Quiet and determined, she held her books tightly against her chest and focused on her studies. Her grandmother, though poor, always told her, "Knowledge is the only thing no one can take from you." When Sara turned 18, her grandmother passed away, leaving her completely alone. No family. No home. Just a suitcase with a few clothes and her school certificates. That day, standing at her grandmother's grave, she made herself a promise. "I will not let life swallow me. I will find my place. Even if the world rejects me." With nowhere to go, she walked to the city. The city was even colder than her village. Tall buildings. Flashing lights. People rushing everywhere, eyes glued to their phones, no time for a girl with second-hand clothes and a worn-out suitcase. Sara applied for jobs everywhere, hotels, shops, bakeries, even cleaning services. Each time, they would glance at her simple clothes, her village accent, and shake their heads. "We'll call you if something opens up." But no call ever came. She spent her nights sitting on park benches, her suitcase as a pillow, her stomach growling louder than the city's traffic. Weeks passed like this. Rain soaking her thin sweater. Cold wind slicing through her bones. At one point, Sara stood on a bridge, looking down at the dark water. A voice in her head whispered, "Maybe it's easier to let go." But then she remembered her grandmother's words. And she stepped back. That night, sitting on the bench once again, she looked up at the sky and said out loud, "God, if you see me, just give me one sign. Just one." The next morning, exhausted and hungry, she wandered into a small bakery. The smell of warm bread made her stomach twist painfully. She didn't even plan to ask for a job anymore. She just wanted a piece of bread. Behind the counter stood an elderly man with kind eyes. His name was Mr. Karim. Sara barely managed to whisper, "Sir, please. I'll clean your floors. Wash your dishes. Just one piece of bread." Mr. Karim looked her up and down, but instead of rejecting her like everyone else, he nodded slowly. "You can work here for the day," he said. "No money. But food. That okay?" Tears filled her eyes. "Yes, sir. That's more than enough." From that day on, Sara cleaned the bakery every morning before customers arrived. She mopped floors, wiped counters, washed dishes, and Mr. Karim always gave her a hot meal. One evening, as she was wiping the counter, Mr. Karim's son arrived. He was tall, dressed in a sharp suit, carrying papers. His name was Adil. Sara kept her head down as Adil spoke in a cold voice. "Father, we don't need some street girl working here. We have staff." Sara swallowed her tears and quietly left. That night, again on her park bench, she told herself maybe Mr. Karim's kindness was the only kindness life would offer her. But fate wasn't finished yet. The next morning, Sara returned to the bakery to say goodbye, not wanting to be a burden. But Mr. Karim was already waiting. "Sara," he said. "Come with me." Confused and nervous, she followed him upstairs to a small room. There, on a dusty desk, were stacks of old books, papers, and a computer. "You said once you studied," he said. "Show me." Sara opened the computer and began typing. Within minutes, she had written a short letter. Her English was simple, but perfect. her typing fast and clean. Mr. Karim smiled slowly. "You don't belong on the streets, Sara." That day, he introduced her to a friend, the owner of a local office. Sara was given a test and passed. She was hired as a receptionist. Her first real job. Months passed. Sara worked hard, always quiet, always grateful. Slowly, she bought herself new clothes. Rented a small room. Learned how to carry herself with quiet pride. But fate wasn't done surprising her. One day, while delivering some papers to a big corporate event, Sara walked into a hall filled with the city's richest businessmen and women. Nervously clutching her folder, she accidentally bumped into someone. Papers flew everywhere. "I'm so sorry," she stammered, kneeling to pick them up. A tall man helped her gather the papers. When she looked up, her heart stopped. It was Adil. Mr. Karim's son. But something had changed in him. He looked at her with wide eyes, almost not recognizing her. She wore a simple but elegant suit now, her hair tied neatly. "Sara," he said quietly. Before she could answer, another man approached, the CEO of a major company. "Who's this young lady?" the CEO asked Adil. A friend," Adil replied slowly, his voice softer now. The CEO smiled. "She has good presence. Confidence. Tell her we're looking for new talent. Let her apply." That was the moment Sara's life truly changed. From a rejected girl sleeping on benches, she now stood in front of CEOs and managers, giving interviews. Her determination, her story, her skills, all caught their attention. Within months, Sara became part of a major company's administrative team. She earned enough not just to take care of herself, but to buy a new home. Her first real home. The very first thing she did was place her grandmother's photo on the wall. "We made it, Dottie," she whispered. Years later, as Sara stood on the balcony of her new house, looking over the city lights, she smiled at the memory of that cold bench. Of the day she begged for bread. Everyone had rejected her, until fate stepped in. Not with money. Not with magic. But with a simple man who offered bread. A test of her patience. And a reminder. When life closes all doors, sometimes it's just waiting for you to find the right one. That was Sara's story. And if you're watching this now, wondering if life has forgotten you too, remember. Sometimes the biggest surprise is waiting just around the corner.